Hello and welcome to The Villain Was Right, the podcast where we look at movies and TV shows from the villain's perspective and dare to ask, were they really all that bad? I'm your host, Rebecca Reeds.
And I'm your host, Craig Fay.
And this week we are talking about The Babysitter's Club. Nostalgia overload.
Oh, yeah. The 95, not the Netflix horseshit.
I don't know. Netflix horseshit.
I didn't watch it. I'm sure it's...
I didn't either. I was like, ooh, coming in with some hot takes off the top, Craig.
I'm sure it captured the magic for a whole new generation of girls, and it was fine.
I'm sure it was wonderful and magical. And no, we're talking about the classic nostalgia overload to start our back to school September month.
Yeah.
Hello, are you in school? Probably not. Maybe you are. Good for you. Hope you're doing well. Congratulations.
Oh God, school-age children listen to this. Oh no.
Maybe you're a baddie. That's cool. Guys, if you have never seen The Babysitter's Club, wow, well, I gotta tell you, there's some stuff in here I wasn't ready for.
Had you watched this as a kid?
No, I never, because I had never read the books.
Okay, so this wasn't you. This was...
Yes, plus it came out when it was 95, so it came out when I was 5.
Oh.
And so I kind of missed it, I think, a little bit. Like some of those movies will transfer over.
For sure.
It was just one that never crossed over for me where I was like, oh, yeah, this would be great. I think it is a lovely children's movie.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of magical things about it that would literally never fucking happen. and I think it's not, but it's like, it is a kid's movie. And I would like to say that off the top before I start ripping it apart.
Yeah,
because it is like, I think it's a good kid's movie.
Yeah, and I think if you have a 13-year-old girl, there are worse things that they could be watching in terms of, being good and like, all the rest.
I think there's like some good, like there's some really good, like magical, childish stuff in here. I think there's maybe a couple of things where I'm like, I would have maybe pulled that out.
Oh, it gets dark quick.
Anyway, but overall, I think it has a magical quality that is good for children to watch.
Yeah.
Now, if you've never seen this movie, basically, like Christy's our main character. She's the head of the Babysitter's Club. They have, I'm not even going to list all their names. There's a lot of girls in this Babysitter's Club. There's 7 of them. I think they say 7 off the top.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, 7 of them. And they all have kind of different roles and like qualities about them that make them better at certain things than others. You call this certain line and they'll hook you up with one of the babysitters in the club, which honestly, as a business model, pretty good.
Yeah, especially early 90s.
I'm like, honestly, like this is pretty good. Like this is a great idea on surface. Especially if it's like, okay, all of these, like, you call and you request for a certain person, or like some people have standing ones where it's like every Wednesday, Christy goes out or Marianne goes out to this person or whoever. So then Christy decides we got to think bigger. I'm a business lady. Okay, I'm a business woman. I think we should start a day camp in one of our backyards. So they then do that. It doesn't run as... Well, actually, it runs about as smoothly as you would think 7 children running a day camp would be. Not terrible, but not great. Okay, we're not really doing the best. Also, there's a couple of plot lines where we have, Claudia's, she has summer school and she's failing. She's got to pass science, and Christy's supposed to be helping her, but she's hanging out with her dad that she's not allowed to tell anybody that's here because he's, kind of never has a job and they haven't spoken in 5 years. And he's like, we're going to keep this a secret, which... No. Anyway, we'll get into all of that. So we have a neighbor that is kind of upset at the disturbance. I would say rightfully so, and I think we're really going to get into that. They then discover Claudia finds this old greenhouse in the woods. I don't know how to describe this any other way. This old greenhouse in the woods, and she's like, actually, I think this could be our office. And no, but through movie magic, the council's going to come through. They say, hey, children, if you get this building up to code, we'll let you have it. We'll let you use it as your clubhouse, as your office, as whatever. So they do that. We also have Cookie, who is kind of I would say our classic villain.
Yeah.
Our classic 13-year-old villain with her two little henchies. We're going to talk a lot about her, I think, because I absolutely love her. Okay, I think she's an awesome villain. She's so funny and just wonderful and a perfect, I would say, teen villain. They fix it up. The girls try and ruin it. They don't. The council shows up, and then they find out that they haven't made any money, so they can maybe have it, and they end up giving the greenhouse to their neighbor.
Yeah.
And that's the nice little bow on it. I thought that was a nice little bow on the movie.
Yeah.
It is a really, it's got a real after-school special. We're all learning. It was like 5 after-school specials, all lined on top of each other.
I feel like that's a good way to do that. Yeah,
and I'm here for it.
There's the girl with diabetes who falls in love with the older boy, the older teen from Switzerland. There's that whole plotline. Yeah.
Lord, do we want to start there?
Sure, let's do it.
You brought it up, so let's talk about it. He's 17. 17, Greg.
And she's 13.
She's 13. Now, 20, 24, not a problem. 17, 13, go to jail. What are we doing? Oh my God. Okay, because here's the thing, is that when he found out she wasn't 16 and he was like, no, I was like, yes, finally. And I can't believe it. You know who's a real villain? The cab driver that was like, well, my husband and I were engaged at 13. I was like,
whoa.
Listen, we need to keep our traumas to ourselves, okay?
You need your own movie to unpack that walk-on character.
I don't think that's a share. I don't think that's a share that I'm giving to a 13-year-old girl. I really liked it when he was backing off, and then I hated it when he came back, and he was like, and he's like, I'm coming next summer, and she's like, and I'll be 14, and I'm like, and he'll be 18.
Yeah, that's usually how ages work.
Yes.
Yeah, there'll be the same difference.
It's not going to be
for your whole lives. Yeah.
Jesus, what are you talking? Just look around. Also, you're not. Nobody's waiting till next summer. This boy's not waiting till next summer. You're not waiting till next summer.
Next summer, when you're 13, is forever.
It's like fucking 8% of your life. What do you mean? What are you talking about? No.
Like me, I can't believe it's September already. I swear it was just the spring thaw, and I was like, I'm gonna make so much of this
summer.
Yeah. And then you're like, it's only 8 weeks, and you're like, what?
Oh God.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But for a teenager, that's do you remember when you were a kid? Summer vacations lasted forever. It was like an eternity. You could do anything and it was I hunger for that sense of endless time, you know?
Oh, I always just thought that about the school year. It's like the school year's lasting forever.
Oh, I mean, the school year lasted longer, but you also were like, man, the summer is so long, you know?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever thought about it that way. Anyway.
Not in a bad way, just I get to do so much in the summer.
Endless.
Out all day, and yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. So that's
a villain. But he also comes through where, they need somebody to go drive and pick up Chrissy because they can't tell the parents where she's been. But also, they probably should have told
none of them can because they're 13 and he can drive. We're one conversation away from, I could probably get you booze. I don't, why? Why? No. This was not a plot line I enjoyed. Now, I can kind of... It seemed kind of a little silly to me, the whole, he doesn't know I have diabetes. And that kind of made me giggle a little bit. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? Maybe you would be a little self-conscious. If you're it's every 13-year-old girl is self-conscious about literally everything on the fucking planet.
Yeah, it's different. I'm different.
Yes, I'm a little different. And
I want to be different.
So I was like, you know what? Actually, I could probably get behind that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I think I can get behind that. That makes sense to me.
I just love, like, what I wrote down was her bitch mom always nagging her about managing her diabetes. Stop asking me to eat snacks and manage my blood sugar, Mom.
Stop trying to keep me alive.
Did you eat? Because it's life or death that you do.
Actually. It's really important.
My mom's always on my back about things, but I just want to go hang out with older boys.
What a real bitch. Yeah. That's so funny.
You need to manage your diabetes.
I think that's a good message and a good point.
So very much villain was right in this case. Mom was right.
And she was right because she crashes. Although I will say, fuck you, dude. If I was going out with somebody and they showed up to my house and they're like, we're going hiking and I didn't tell you, I'd be fucking so pissed.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I gotta go change now. Like,
There's an outfit.
I'm wearing my nice clothes. Also, like, what time is it? Maybe I thought we were gonna go eat something, or maybe, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't.
That's a check ahead.
But I gotta tell you,
hey, I want to take you out. I was thinking, if you want, we can like go for a hike. It's gonna be nice, or you know, we can go hang out in a park somewhere, or I don't know what else teenagers can do. Like go to the soda shop or something.
But one of my exes, we were I can't remember exactly where. Anyway, we were at his parents' place. And he was like, oh, like, do you want to spend the afternoon going for a little walk? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to go for a walk. But like, and I specifically asked him, I said, are we going for a walk or are we going for a hike? Because I was like, if we're going for a hike, I'm going to wear something different.
Yeah.
If we're just going for a walk, I'm going to wear the jeans I have on. Like, I'm going to whatever. And he goes, no, it's just a walk. It's just a walk. Motherfucker. This was not a walk. Okay. Not when I'm crossing bridges over rivers, okay? That's not a walk, all right? We're going up hills, and it's what I was so sweaty. By the time we got to where we were going, I literally just took my pants off.
Yeah.
I just put them down on my ankles, and I said, I'm going to have to stand like this for 5 minutes. I'm sorry. And then I just did. I just stood there, fucking underwear out, just like, listen, I literally am going to give myself a rash if I don't let this breathe for a second, okay? Because I gotta tell you, I'm a sweaty lady. I'm sweaty, okay?
I know exactly how you feel because the exact same thing happened to me. I was in Vancouver.
Okay.
And
of course it was Vancouver.
First time there. And like, I was with my girlfriend at the time and her parents. And they were like, we're going to go for this walk. And I was like, walk? And I was like, so is this something like I should wear jeans for? Because it's like a little cool, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Or is this something I should change? And they're like, oh, no, you'll be fine in jeans. And then it was the Grouse Grind, which is a mountain. It's a fucking mountain in Vancouver. It is a near vertical trail and like rash, like sweating through jeans the whole time. Like people were looking at me like, are you insane? Like trying to climb this with jeans. And I was like, why didn't you just tell me? Like I could have put on shorts. I could have put on something I was comfortable with. Like, yes. I can't believe we have the exact same story about this.
So funny.
Tell people,
yes, please.
If someone's wearing jeans for a hike.
Yes, you know me. I'm disgusting. Okay, please. Please, I beg you. Okay. I swear to God. Anyway, yes, that was just one thing I noted where I was like, that's a pet peeve of mine for sure.
Definitely. Tell people.
I don't care for that. I'm going to say so. I just want to jump ahead right to the ending for 1 second. Because I need to get this out of the barrel quickly because so mad, literally so mad. Okay. If I started a business with my friends and I was like, okay, we're all going to do this business together, we'll probably make about $7,000, which at 13 is bananas.
Yeah.
Like,
and in 1995,
bananas. Okay, that's awesome. Good for you.
That's like 2 years college tuition in 1995.
So funny. Yeah. And we get to the end of that summer, and you tell me that we've made $168.14. Buddy, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
We're at least having a discussion. If you're looking at me in the eyes and you're like, but it's all about the lessons we learned along the way, I'd be like, and you're about to learn another lesson right now. I understand, like, we're shooting for the stars and we fell short. I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, but I might have needed a few financial updates as we were going along.
That's the thing.
Because if I spent my whole summer thinking that maybe I was going to get a little over $1,000,
Yeah.
and you tell me we're going to get a pizza, buddy,
Yeah. And you know what's funny about
we're
that?
getting a new treasurer, I'll tell you that for free. Because they kind of force you. Can I spit something at you?
Yeah.
Okay, so they mentioned the treasurer off the top. They were like, oh, yeah, she's our treasurer. She's great with money, but she also really knows how to spend it. I'm like, did this bitch spend all her money? Did she just buy a bunch of dresses? Because
to impress that 17-year-old?
Because I gotta tell you, I had a rich friend, or like, not just kind of like, you know, side person that I kind of knew in high school. And they were like, yeah, you know, I'm just so rich and da-da-da-da-da. And like, I can never 100% prove it. But like, I'm pretty sure that person ripped off a bunch of money from the prom fund.
Oh, yeah.
And also like would always like promise to buy things for people and never did. And I'm like, I actually don't think I think this is a lie you tell everyone.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it sort of
Although, to be fair, she has a huge fucking house. So.
Yeah, and everyone rides horses. Here's.
Oh, everybody does ride horses.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's a
these
very
bougie bitches.
This is a middle-class family. I think it's also telling that this girl who's really good at numbers, right, is the one who's like, I'm lying about being 16. I did not measure my blood sugar correctly.
That's so funny.
By the way, we made $126. I'm sorry. That's 3 strikes. That's 3 math problems you did not solve. You're out.
That's so funny.
I will also say that for a business created by 13-year-olds, pretty good profit in my mind. Like yes, absolutely. Yeah. Should we have had regular updates throughout the summer? Where do we stand in terms of expenses and whatnot?
Probably a great point. Yes.
Let me just say they rented porta potties. They had decorations. They were feeding kids food. Like, honestly, a break even's pretty good for children of that age with that organization.
I'm gonna give it to you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But I will say, as a 13-year-old, I would be upset.
Yes. And as a parent, what I would do would be like, because obviously they're all rich, right?
That's so.
Where they would go, you guys worked so hard this summer.
You made your community better.
You made your community better. We're gonna kick in like $500 or 250. You know, we're gonna top you up a bit.
So you get some play money for something that you really enjoy.
Yeah, because
that
like,
makes sense. Yes.
How thrilled would you be as a parent for your kids to be like, hi, we're gonna go and create our own business and run it responsibly for summer rather than do this. Like, don't get me wrong. What this movie does not show is the emotional labor that all these parents are doing, making sure that they're not fucking it up entirely.
Oh, God. Can we? Yes.
Because we do need some adult supervision here, right?
Oh, big time. Big time. Big time. Okay, because what we've essentially done here is we've gone from one-on-one to maybe one-on-2. You know what I mean? Maybe 3 kids. Maybe you're stepping into a unit with 3 kids. Scaling up to, because they're like, oh, we got 30 kids. We need 30 kids, right? I'm going to argue that they absolutely had much more than 30 kids, I think.
At some points,
because
yes.
You could tell by the pot holders things that they had. Just the stacks of them, how many kids. But it was like, when you saw their stacks, it would look like, I'm going to say like 10 kids to 1 kid, basically.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, they're still like
yes.
they're teens, but they're like right on that. You know what I mean? You're still kids. Okay.
You can look after a 6-year-old because you can dial 911.
Yes. and because you're only looking after this one person, like
or two siblings, three,
but we've
whatever
scaled
it is.
out, whatever.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
not 10 to 1.
No.
Teachers can barely handle that. You know what I mean?
Yes, and for childcare, at least in Ontario, there are very strict numbers of like you need this many like certified adults to children,
yeah,
and depending on age, like that's why it's so hard for like new mothers to go back to work after a year, because there's like a change where like you need more early childhood education, like daycare workers.
Oh yes, okay.
For like kids under 18 months. Like
yes,
it's like a 1 to 2 ratio for them.
Oh,
and
of course,
as soon as it hits 18 months, it's like it goes up. So you can have like 1 to 5 or something like that. But like there is regulations as to how many kids you're allowed to look after even as an adult.
Yes. Because
they can run off, they can get in trouble, they can, hurt themselves, they can hurt other kids. Like if you don't keep a tally on them, and these kids do go fucking wild.
Oh, yeah. As any group of children would. Okay, these children aren't bad. They're children.
Yeah.
There's a food fight because they're fucking children, and there's only 2 of you here to say, no, don't do that.
Yeah, some of these girls are just not showing up some days.
Yes, absolutely. Like, Christy does stop showing up a lot because her dad starts becoming in the picture.
Yeah, you want to dive into the dad right now, and we'll get back to the neighbor in a second?
Of course. So the dad is, I would argue, like, he's got a low-key villain that kind of has a bit of a redemption arc in the sense of it's like, well, now he sends her a letter every couple days instead of once every 5 years. And you're like, oh, God, no. But I just got to tell you, any plot line where it's like an adult being like, you have to keep this secret? Oh, no. Okay. Unless it's a happy surprise. Unless it's like, don't tell your mom we bought her these flowers.
Until her birthday.
Or whatever the thing is, okay? Unless it's a present, unless it's a happy surprise, adults are not allowed to tell children it's a secret.
Yes.
You just can't, it's not,
No, and his reasoning is that he doesn't want to show up because Christy's mother thinks he's a loser, which he is. And he doesn't want to show up without a job. And he's got a line on a job. And he wants to have the job before he announces to his ex that he's back in town and back in his daughter's life.
Buddy, you can't get a job in 95? What's happening? I'm pretty sure, according to The Matrix, that's the greatest year of all, the greatest decade of all time, at least. The
Society peaked.
Yes.
Right? Living in a van, which, fine, whatever. You're that rambling spirit traveling around the world, but you also have a daughter and you need to show up. But here's the thing. Even this is never addressed, so I'm going to assume he has the right to see his daughter, that he is legally allowed to see his daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That there isn't some custody thing or something that's got to keep him away.
I think we could say that just based off of how nice the mother is about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because she freaks out a bit, but not a lot.
Like, I'm glad the strange man that your friends have seen you getting into a van with is your father. But as a responsible father, so he's not breaking any laws, let's assume, but you do need to be honest with her mother about where your 13-year-old daughter is. Yeah. Who she is with.
Well, you can certainly see why she left him.
Yes.
He seems to have, he doesn't seem to have a huge concern for, like, just her general safety.
Yeah, keep lying to your mother, say you're going somewhere else, and see. And here's the thing, like, even if it wasn't him, like, what if she said, "Hi, Mom, I'm going to go over to, Mary Ann's house and we're going to have a sleepover or eat pizza party or whatever, or I'm babysitting for these people." And she's actually going to go see her dad, and something happens to her on her way to seeing her dad. Now, all of a sudden, nobody knows where she is, right? Like, it's so problematic. And bad. It's like, that's a bad dad.
That's a bad dad. It's a bad dad. And I gotta say, but I would just love to point out that I think her mother is a literal saint. Like, I swear to, a literal saint. Because after all of this goes down, and she's like, "Listen, you should have never lied to," like, you know what I mean? All the proper things a parent should say, and like, I need to know where you are. These sorts of things. But she doesn't vilify the dad. She doesn't make him a villain. She goes, "Your dad has big dreams, just like you, and he's not going to give up on them."
Yeah.
I think that's the best way you could spin that.
Oh, after he ghosts her on her own birthday and makes her go walk in the rain at an amusement park, makes her miss the wonderful party all her friends set up for her. Yes, absolute saint of a mother. When she goes closed doors with that stepdad, she's tearing that man a motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure.
This man is getting her to say to the stepdad, "You're not my father." Like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
You're more of a father to that girl than he's ever been. He
handles the comment very well.
Yeah. I mean,
They're
I think
very patient people.
That's stepdad territory, though. I think, like, if you're a stepdad to a teenager, you're getting "you're not my real dad" thrown at you at some point. I think even if you're a biological dad to a teenager, you might even be getting "you're not my real dad" thrown at you.
There's a strong chance. A strong chance, yes.
But just, I mean,
my God.
Like, you got to be a pretty big villain to ghost a 13-year-old girl on her birthday. Her 13th birthday, was it, or her 14th?
13th birthday.
13th birthday.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of them are 13. I think she would probably, I just,
No, that was,
and then just
cold.
to write a letter. No, man, you got to know you're not bouncing back from that as a dad.
Yeah, it's cold.
You know?
But now, hey, sends her a few more letters.
Oh, yeah, but for how long?
Yeah, for how long? Just the breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's sad. This is
That's
a plot
sad.
point. But I gotta say, that mother, wow. She's got to work in marketing or so. That PR spin, wow. Get her on another case.
And good boundaries too. Like, first of all, both parents very much like in tune of like, you just got a phone call and now you're crying. What's going on?
Hey, yeah.
That's not good. Like, I am aware of your emotional life right now.
It's so sad that's the bar. Like,
well,
but sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
Honestly, as a bar, I'm being totally serious here. Being aware of how other people feel and react to things is pretty good.
Yes.
You know, that's all we really want from each other in a very real sense, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I do love her mother, though, telling her, like, no, you can't get a phone. And, like, I do feel like this needs context to be explained, which is back in 1995, we only had landlines. Like, cell phones had maybe been, like, I did not see a cell phone until I went to university in, like, 2003.
Buddy, do you remember racing to the phone when you knew somebody was going to call you and you had to get there before your parents because you were like, I will die. I will literally die if my dad answers the phone.
If that boy or that
Matt's
girl
on the other end of the line, I will die. Yeah,
and
100%.
So rich families, and I will stress this, would sometimes get second landlines installed in their homes for their teenagers to use. Because
they would
here's the other thing, you could only have one phone call at a time. This is wild to anybody who's only grown up in the era of smartphones. Like that, one, every person in the family doesn't have their own number, and two, the phone is in a public space. But let me just tell you, I think the best request for a young teenager, to get a phone installed in her room is the "Mom, I run my own business." pretty.
It's a solid argument. Solid.
The most solid argument I can ever.
And she was like, you can't just say no to me. You have to give me reasons. We're having a discussion. Okay.
Oh, Christy, why did you grow up so fast? Some sort of trauma in your past?
I've got big dreams.
It feels like there's something you're making up for. I don't know, maybe an absent dad or something. Can we jump back? I got to get this off my chest about the neighbor.
Oh, we got to. Of course, we have to talk about the neighbor. Of course.
I'm just that woman, that poor tortured woman.
The patience of an angel.
The patience of it for a villain, like one of the most right villains ever, both in how she feels, how she reacts to the situation.
Yep.
So here's what happens. She's out gardening, having a great time, woman of the world. She's having porta potties installed against her fence line. She's lounging in her backyard, and kids are shouting on megaphones as they run an unlicensed daycare out of their backyard in a residential area. They shoot these kids that they're babysitting or summer camping or whatever, counseling, or shoot jelly donuts over the fence with slingshots and hit her in the face.
There's not enough people to watch them all.
And we thought, do you know what's a good toy for kids? Slingshots.
Yeah, fair.
They're singing in the morning as she is getting up and housecoat getting her newspaper. And let me just tell you, that is a woman of a certain age. She ain't getting up at 11 a.m.
Oh, no, that is crack a dawn.
That is an early riser.
Yeah.
That is an early riser. She's not started yet, and there's suddenly singing going on. That is awful. What else? Oh, kind of Cookie's fault, but the stink bomb.
But that's still not her fault. I would argue...
Cookie tries to stink bomb the camp. The kids launch the stink bomb into her backyard. But as a consequence of there being an unlicensed daycare next to you, a stink bomb gets tossed in your backyard while you're trying to garden.
They pick your flowers.
Oh, she's a gardener.
She
picked them specifically for the butterflies and the bees.
And the hummingbirds.
This woman is looking out for pollinators in 1995. We didn't know the bees were dying in 1995. Wow, 95 was the peak of...
it probably, yes, it actually was.
We didn't know bees were dying. Nobody had cell phones.
We were bedazzling
13-year-olds could run daycares.
Unlicensed, doesn't matter.
We don't need license. Yeah, and let me just say that the way she reacts to it is she goes, this is a warning. You seem like reasonable girls. So I'm just here to tell you, shape it up, or I'm going to have to go to the city and talk to them about revoking your permit, which is the first that the girls have heard that they need a permit.
And this is also weeks in.
Yes.
And I have to say this. A megaphone has no business in anyone's backyard. No business. No business in anyone's backyard. I don't care what you're running. Nobody should have a megaphone.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
If the yard is so big that you need a megaphone, you have too many kids running around.
100%.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to keep going on the neighbor, but there's something I want us to go back to. Anyway, yes, she literally is so patient. The first thing that gets shoved out, it's not like she goes right away. It's not like she goes to talk to the parents. And she honestly talks to those girls like they are functioning people, like they're kind of adults. You're running a business. I'm gonna speak to you softly, but I'm gonna talk to you, not your parents. Yes. I'm going to invite you in for tea. I'm going to try and figure this out. Now, she is, I would argue, a very light villain because it comes back around and they realize what's happened.
But she is the one that's going to have the camp shut down, dashing all the girls' dreams.
That
it's
is
the mean neighbor who's very insistent on permits.
No, she's so patient the whole time, so nice. Please, ladies, if there's another incident, we're going to have to deal with this. And I don't want to have to do that. You seem like nice, young ladies.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Invites her in for tea and is like, how long will this continue?
Yes.
It's like, well, you don't know. Well, then I don't know how long I can tolerate the noise and the distraction.
We need timelines. I need to know what's going on here. Also, I loved her defending them getting the clubhouse at the end, because I was like, of course she wants them out of that backyard. She'd be like, Eddie, please send them to the woods.
Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, this is, I think, one of the best line deliveries I have ever heard in any movie ever. I have been laughing about this for days. I'm walking into rooms quoting this to Kat, which is just when she defends them. And like, because the scenario is they fix up the greenhouse and the committee comes by and they go, well, look at this. What's civic pride? That's so great. We'd love to give it to you, but it states that it's for basically nonprofit club groups. So since you're a business, we can't give it to you. And then the neighbor comes in and she goes, well, actually, I think you will find that our committee guidelines say that a profitable business needs to make at least $1,500 a year. And this guy's reaction is just, do whatever you want, Emily. I don't care. And he just walks off. Like, that is how I felt about everything in this movie. Where I was like,
everyone,
I am a 38 almost 39-year-old man. I am watching a bunch of teenage girls trying to run a business and their problem, and every single problem in this, I was just like, do whatever you want. I don't care. And just for the main conflict of the movie to be resolved was just this like overheated man just dropping all facades and being like, I'm here because it's Girls Fix Up Heritage Greenhouse in Park is a good local news story. And I want my picture in the paper, but I literally could not care less about this. I was going to give him a plaque. You want to fight me on this? Do whatever you want, Emily. I don't care.
That's
greatest line in movie history.
That's so funny. You know what? I didn't even clock how fucking funny that is, and you're so right. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I rewound it. I watched it again.
I watched it again.
Just
do whatever
you want, Emily. I don't care. Because the Hollywood version of that is, whoa, I think you're right. Wow. I guess you're right. I guess they can use just like, I don't care. Just walks out.
Honestly, accurate. Accurate. You're in local government. Yes. Honestly, I've come up in a few situations where I've talked to somebody and in my head I'm like, if they give me any pushback, I'm just gonna buckle. I don't care. I couldn't get it together to really, like, I'll give an idea and if somebody speaks to me passionately, I'm like, great, done. I couldn't. Why?
That is why I have never really gone to any restaurant that I actually want to.
Oh.
Because, like, especially, like, at work and stuff, you're like, where do we all going for lunch this Friday or something like that, right?
I see what you mean. Yes.
And then, you know, someone's like, oh, man, we should go here. We should get sushi. All you can eat sushi. And I go, yeah, that's fine. Because you seem to really care about this, and I will eat whatever.
Well, that's kind of, it's funny. I had a discussion with somebody about that, about how, especially when it's food with me, they're like, you kind of always say whatever. Like, don't you have some sort of preference? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Have I ever pushed back on a suggestion you've given me? And they're like, no, I guess not. And I'm like, well, there you go. I can't imagine this is annoying for you because I'm actually not sitting there at sushi upset. I don't give a fuck. I like food. I love food. I love every style of food pretty much.
Yeah.
And the only thing I don't eat is octopus and squid because I think they're way too smart to eat. But other than that, I'll eat fucking anything on the planet. And I'm like, if you care at all, we should do what you want to do.
Yeah, let's go to your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Like the pizza order was always like, well, what do you like on a pizza? I was like, for me, a pizza is like mushrooms, green peppers, pepperoni. Like
Oh.
those are the big three for me.
Okay.
Right? So someone's like, what do you want on your pizza? And I'm like, mushrooms, green pepper are my favorites. I think that makes a good pizza.
Yep.
But inevitably, there's always somebody in the group who's like, I don't like mushrooms. I was like, get rid of them. I don't care. You know, put whatever you want on the pizza. It can be like chicken and barbecue sauce, and I'll still eat it.
Because like pizza's pizza.
Yeah.
It's
we're good.
delicious. And
Let's do feta cheese and potatoes. I don't care. I'll eat it.
And sometimes this might sound, I don't know, maybe it's weird, but like sometimes because I don't always get the exact pizza that I want, or like that I'm like, oh, this is the perfect pizza in my mind. You're going to be mad at my perfect pizza, in my opinion, is pepperoni, pineapple, green olive. But
I mean, that's divisive. But
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'd eat it. It's fine.
I need
Hawaiian
it's fine.
pizza invented in my hometown, as a matter of fact.
Hey, there
Chatham,
you go.
Ontario.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, I love pineapple on a pizza. I love pepperoni, and I believe the saltiness of the olives balances out
I
the
don't hate it.
sweetness
I don't
of
hate it.
the pineapple. It's my favorite order. So and I love pizza, and I love to try different pizza. Like sometimes somebody orders something, I'm like, I would literally never put these things together, and this is fucking awesome. That's why I want to eat that pizza. But when I'm alone, it feels like a special treat that I'm like, oh, I'm going to get the exact toppings. I'm going to do this and that, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to,
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that Kat agrees with me on what the pizza toppings are.
Oh, huge.
So never
That's
do-
huge.
Right? What? Just one of those things that just lines up, and you're like, it'd be fine if we didn't.
No, but it's kind of
But
nice. It's nice that you do.
That's going in the old plus column. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that. That's
Although
so sweet.
she hates olives on pizza,
Mm-hmm.
and the worst thing I've ever done to her is she ran a half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Did not go well for her. Like she had a real miserable because it was raining. It was bad.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like,
Plus, it's hard.
it's hard.
Just
and like
hard.
she had run another one before,
Yeah.
and it was like anyway, she did not have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But like the plan was she's coming back to my place. This is like before we lived together,
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
And I gotten her like some beer and like ordered pizza, and like I went to the store and got her like a comb for her hair so she like shower there and everything. And
That's so sweet.
yeah, and I accidentally ordered pizza with olives on it. Like I just hit the wrong
Yeah,
thing.
okay, yeah.
And just like the pizza was ruined and she didn't have a good day, and like she had one beer and was like, oh, I don't want that. Like I'm so like I don't want
Yes,
this.
yeah.
And she's like, I'm sorry you did all these nice things and none of them worked out. I was like, I'm so sorry that I gave you olives after a marathon. Like she hates olives.
Oh, I love
So-
an olive. I'll party with an olive so hard. But I get it. Like when people don't like olives, I get that. I'm sorry, we've really gone off on a pizza tangent here, but
yeah, it's because I forgot to eat before we recorded today. That's why we did
oh,
this.
Girl, I'm getting so hungry. Starting to happen. I'm starting to feel that. I would love to just talk about one point that I think is, in my opinion, unhinged.
Yeah.
Porta potties for children. I don't
oh.
think that would be my go-to, okay? First of all, when I was, and maybe it's just because when I was a kid, they were scary to me. Okay, like outhouses and porta potties were scary to me because they're like, in my opinion, they're literally built for adults. Because they're built for like construction sites and like concert venues and these sorts of things. And I don't genuinely think that they had children in mind when they were making these things because the hole's quite big.
Yeah.
So I, as a child, would always be terrified because I'd be like, I'm gonna fall in.
There's weird lights in there, weird smells.
Smells
a
in
big,
there, it's-
deep
yeah,
hole. I
it's
mean,
like
I'm
gross.
kind of scared of the hole now, to be honest.
Always scared of the hole. Always.
It's like-
it's illogical. There's no. I
It's
guarantee
because
you.
there's shit down there. That's what it is.
Well, yeah, and I gotta tell you, at this point in my life, there's no way my fucking fat ass is getting through that thing. Okay, but for some reason, in my head, I'm like, you're gonna
Just
fall in the hole.
One step and it's head first in for reeds. Yeah.
I'm not. Yes, it's not happening. So,
You're
like,
right.
literally, when they introduced porta potties, I don't know if it's just my own thing. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just my own, neurosis or whatever it is. Okay. But goddamn, did I think that was a fucking bad idea. I was like, you're telling me, because, like, in my mind, if, like, these kids have to go to a porta potty, I'm like, you have to kind of, like, be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of have to, like, and some of these kids might still need help regardless, okay? Because some
Yeah.
of them are quite young.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you got them going in fucking porta potties? Like, that's terrifying to me.
I mean, this is something that someone has to have thought of. Like, I wonder if there's like little
Like children-
adapters,
yeah,
like smaller
oh.
seats and like stairs and things like that. Like there'd have to be, right?
No, you know
Like,
what?
Because
Maybe.
like this isn't like 1995 Babysitters Club isn't the first time like a kid has had to use a porta potty.
No, certainly not.
You know, like like there's air shows, things like that. But
Does
like,
somebody know, tweet at us or
if
message
you know,
us?
if you're in the sanitation business,
If you know about this, or maybe it is truly just my very deep fear. It is very possible. It's my very, very deep fear.
yeah, that's a fear I don't necessarily have myself, but completely understand.
Well, it was just like
I'm like that's a scary. Porta potties are scary and gross.
like my when I was growing up, we would go to our like family cottage or whatever, and it was like it wasn't like a cottage. You know what I mean? It was like there wasn't any like plumbing and shit. It was like
Yeah, it was like a cabin.
yeah, yes. So there was this outhouse in the back, and it had this like it had the the little like half moon on it or like a quarter moon at
Yep.
Classic. And for whatever reason, like every time I think of it, like so terrifying to me. Like I just remember sitting in there and the moonlight coming in. Like, because if you do it at dark too, it's like there's animals around. You know what I mean? Like we're literally in the wilderness. I'm outside. I'm like 6. And just like the moonlight's coming in. I'm like, I'm fucking terrified. This is terrifying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, pitch me a horror movie where it's something's outside and you're just stuck in the outhouse.
Or there's something in the outhouse and you can't get out.
Oh,
Sorry, that was worse. It was
that's far
worse. Okay, so we have to obviously talk about Cookie.
Yes.
We gotta talk about Cookie because she is our classic villain in this movie. She's the classic.
Classic. 2 dumb henchmen.
Yum,
Let's
yum. She's perfect.
let's never get rid of that trope, shall we?
No, I love
it. Works every time.
Especially, honestly, in children's movies, I love it. It's perfect. She's like, you two, we wasted our whole summer. No, you two got an education. It's so funny. Like, this woman is honestly, this little girl is hysterical to me. She is so fucking funny. I laughed through everything she did was fucking hilarious.
Because it's so over the top.
It's so over the top. It's beautifully over the top. It's perfection. Okay, all of her outfits, classics. Okay, classic outfits. I wanted everything that girl was wearing. I wanted everything she was wearing. I was like, you are a boss ass bitch. Okay, you got your little henchies. You've got your somehow overcomplicated plots that are very simplistic at the same time, but they're overcomplicated
Stink bomb into the camp.
For what you're trying to do. You're like, okay, you got to distract her. I'm going to go hit on this guy. And it's also like, I'm sorry, just as a side note, Mary Ann, dump that boy. Dump that boy. He is too into the attention he is getting. There is too much like, oh, really? Like, ooh la la, okay. No, dump him. Dump him, Mary Ann.
Fair enough.
You're a she's all that bitch. Okay, you can do it.
Yeah, I was very surprised at the short amount of time between this movie and She's All That.
Buddy, I was like, surprised by the cast of this movie and the fact that I had never seen it. I was like, oh. Like, just everybody that popped up on screen. I was like, oh, another one. Another big star.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that she did anything wrong.
Who, Cookie?
Cookie, in asking that boy. Because, like, I don't even think at that point, like, because it was Marianne that liked
No, but they'd been together forever.
Had they?
Yes. I thought that was the plot line, that they were together for like, it's
I thought
just
they
kinda
liked each other and she was...
No, I thought it was like, as soon as he showed up, they were kind of like, they were inseparable.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. She just asked him to go to a concert, and it's like, well...
And felt his muscle. Oh, yeah.
A little 13-year-old muscle there. Yeah. Woohoo. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still just like, all you did was ask him to go to a concert. And I know, like...
Oh,
you know,
no, I don't think it's that bad. No, I don't think it's that bad.
And, like, that's, I know, the biggest thing in the world. But to quote my favorite character in this movie, do whatever you want.
That's so funny, man. That's... I love that you're just walking around quoting it.
Do whatever you want, Emily.
Do whatever you want. It's so funny. I'm still saying to things, you're an inanimate fucking object.
You're an inanimate fucking object. She lost her boots. She tried to toilet paper and shaving cream.
Now, to be fair, who could have guessed that these kids were doing concrete work? Who amongst us would have been ready for that? I gotta give it to her.
Who sold 13-year-olds concrete mix?
Well, yeah, plus you gotta get a mixer. There's a lot that has to go down here. I don't know if you guys have ever poured concrete before. I've watched it.
You could do it in the form and like fold it over itself, but like you gotta mix it in the thing.
It's
not
easy.
No, it's kind of like I don't think this is the case, but I feel like it should be spray paint. You know, like spray paint you won't sell to a 13-year-old if you run a hardware store.
Oh, okay.
You know, like you need show me some idea if you're getting spray paint, because we all know you're a teenager. We know why you're getting spray paint. And just in my heart of hearts, Rebecca, I feel like concrete mix should be the same thing.
Well,
I think I should be able to walk into a Home Depot and get a thing of cement mix, and no one's going to blink an eye at me. I don't think it should be a prohibited thing. But they'll be like, you're an adult man.
Yes.
You're doing some patio stones or something.
Plus also, I don't know if you know this.
13-year-old girl walks into a hardware store and gets a thing of concrete. I'm like, what the fuck are you up to?
It's also like low-key dangerous because like I don't know if you know what happens when like concrete starts drying on you, but it will actually like burn you. Like you can go in if you get too much concrete on you and it dries, you can go into shock.
It's exothermic, yeah.
It's fucked. Like
it's a chemical reaction.
I've seen it happen to somebody.
Really?
Oh yeah, like they recovered, like it was fine, like it ended up being fine, but it was not fine for a fucking minute.
Wow.
Yes, it was not fine.
How much was on them, like to the point where it was?
Like chunks of their leg was covered. And so it was just like getting that off, and that was enough to send it, ship it.
I believe it. I haven't heard of that before, but I believe it for sure.
Oh yeah, it was wild. Like full recovery, no problem. Like didn't need to go to the hospital, but maybe you should have.
A little bit of heat stroke kind of.
Yes. It was bad for a moment. Anyway, so point being, I'm like, Cookie, I wouldn't have guessed either.
Yeah, having to leave their boots behind is hilarious comeuppance.
Stink bombing children is kind of funny. Sorry. Kids think it's funny. It's kind of funny. It's in an open space.
Yes, yeah.
It'll go away pretty quick. It will. It's in an open space, okay? And I'm telling you, those kids would be having the time of their lives if a stink bomb's going on back there. They'd be like, pee pee poo poo, pee pee poo poo, pee pee poo poo. They don't care. It's hilarious to them.
And also, are you going to notice any difference when you got all those porta potties
Probably not.
after a couple days? Absolutely not.
Probably not.
And I, in my mind, it's the same guy that sold Cookie a stink bomb as sold the Babysitter's Club concrete. Like just some guy running his hardware store being like,
listen, we got to make our quota. These girls have $7,000 to play with, and I want every dollar.
Whatever, might as well happen.
It's gonna happen. These young girls are strong-willed. I don't know if you know that. They're very strong-willed. So funny.
Oh God, yeah. I do love how each of them had their own like thing. They're like, she's the writer, she's the smart one.
I think it's so cute. Yeah. I loved it.
Helps you keep track.
It does, and like I just think the way they introduce these girls, I was like, okay, we're in.
Yeah,
I get it. We're in. I love it. Like the little girl that gets the chocolate milk at the cafe because she's working on her novel. Adorable.
Yeah.
Like, just spread that on a cracker for me. We love it. Okay, you know the vegetarian or like the vegetarian vegan, like the environmentalist. Yeah. We've got the you know overachieving math girl. We've got Christy, who's like the driver of the business, but also like kind of a tomboy.
Yeah.
I never wear a dress kind of thing. Yeah. She was, yeah. They had the dancer. They were just like, I'm gonna dance everywhere, and she's kind of the the new recruit, the junior.
Yeah, I think there was like a babysitter's club, like junior.
Oh, so it was like a little wink and a nod of like, oh,
maybe. Don't.
okay.
I never read it. Don't quote me on that.
Yes.
I'm sure I'll get. People are really love these books.
I wish I had gotten into them.
Yeah.
I was a little more of a Nancy Drew bitch, so.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. I'm trying to think if I have any more that I want to really discuss with these ladies.
Yeah, Cookie is kind of like, as you mentioned, fine teenage adversarial. I never knew what their beef was, ever.
Well, I don't think, but I think what was kind of nice about that, and what I do find very believable, is that it didn't start anywhere. 13-year-old girls will just be mean to each other. It will just happen. You get into a clique. It's like, it is, I don't know what psychologically is happening. I cannot explain it to you. I do not know the science, but it can get mean out in those streets.
Yeah.
All right. So I 100% believe that there was.
It was reciprocal.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, I think Cookie had the better slams. I think she was throwing down way harder than those other girls when she was like, oh, nice date. His age matches your IQ. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, for a 13-year-old?
That's a grade 8.
Fire burn. That's fire. All right. Bring it. You're bringing the heat. Okay.
Put Cookie on Roastmaster's 13-year-olds.
Yeah. No, that would have destroyed in the schoolyard when I was growing up. That would have freaking destroyed. All right. So honestly, as far as villains go, like obviously she's a villain.
Pretty independent. Yeah.
No, but she's like, she's a perfect classic, like kids movie villain.
Yeah. But there is no version of this story that you would tell as a 30-year-old who had experienced this when you were 13, where you wouldn't cast Cookie as a villain in your story.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes,
she is forever the girl who stunk bombed your,
yes,
like she is.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And I actually think she's probably doing well for herself.
Oh, she grew out of it.
Yes.
She's like, I can't believe how insecure I was as a 13-year-old girl and so craving for attention that
I had to
other people who were doing fine, I had to bring down. And it's a whole thing. We all got to learn.
Hey,
honestly,
what can you do?
They all learned a bunch of great lessons. Yes. I felt like these were all kind of positive role models for people.
Lessons were learned. It had great after-school special energy.
The villains were the most reasonable villains.
Yes. No, it's great. I would recommend. I would recommend to kids. And I would also recommend if this is like a nostalgic movie to you.
Give it a good old read.
Give it another go. It's great. It's a lot of fun. And you get that perfect line about Emily.
Do whatever you want, Emily.
Do it. I don't care. So fucking funny.
But I think it's time to give our definitive rankings of how good the villain is. So, what do you got, Rebecca?
I've got the babysitting scale, like the babysitting house scale, basically. Like what you're showing up to. Okay.
Love it.
So, from we have a pool, all the way up to the worst one, which is no TV, no sugar, educational activities only. I am going to give the neighbor, I'm going to give her a kids are in bed, money for pizza, satellite TV. This woman's awesome. She is completely reasonable. She's the best.
Love it. Yes, I also did Mrs. Haberman, the neighbor. I have the club scale, though. So on a scale from club soda
so cute.
to 50 cents into club, I'm going to give Miss Haberman, the neighbor, a Clubber Lang, a.k.a. Mr. T from Rocky 3, because no one would blame them if they started throwing fists.
That's so funny. It's so stupid. I love it. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Oh, thank you. And guys, we will get to who our heroes and villains of the week are in a second. But first, a couple ways that you can help the podcast. So first, if you got a couple bucks and you want some extra content, well, we've got it for you. You can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/thevillainwasright.
This is our first time.
Patreon, if you don't know, it's a monthly subscription service where you support the artists that you love and you get great benefits in return. So if you sign up at our highest level, our Gollum level tier, $7 a month gets you 2 bonus episodes every month. Rebecca picks one. I pick one. This month, we're into September now. Yes, we are. September, it is... we're doing First Blood, Rambo, First Blood, the first Rambo movie. We're doing it, and that's my good pick. And then Rebecca's gonna pick some god awful,
you just
terrible movie.
So excited
for the end of the month that is absolutely gonna torture me.
Yay! But we have so much fun talking about it.
We do have so much fun. It's a fun little dynamic we have now. So check that out. As well, you can also vote on our Audience Choice episode. So next week, I believe we have our Audience Choice coming up. It's going to be a banger. So check out that one. And guys, if you want to get in touch with us.
As always, you can follow us at VWR Podcast on Twitter. Villain Was Right on Facebook. At Villain Was Right on Instagram. Also, TikTok. We're on TikTok. You want to check out? You want to see these stupid little faces? You can you can see us on TikTok, unless they take us down because I say pussy too much.
It's okay. I replaced the you in the captions. They'll never know.
They'll never know. They'll never guess our code. Yes, and now, guys, it is time for our heroes and villains of the week. I have a couple of heroes. I just have a little babysitting story, of course, appropriate, because I myself used to be a babysitter. I had a certificate to do that. I will say that. So your children were safe with me. I had to go learn CPR and all that fun stuff. So yes, I had a little babysitting certificate that you could get. I think it was like a week course or something, or like a couple day course that you would go to just to like, what do you do if they're choking, or what do you do? You know what I mean? Which was great. So I used to babysit some friends of my parents. They had a couple of kids. And there was one day, and I was fairly new to it, right? So there was one day, this little kid, he was so cute. He was just the cutest kid I've ever seen in my whole life. And he would walk around, like he was learning to walk while I was babysitting him. And he would walk around like kind of, I don't know how to say, kind of like the Hulk. Like it was like he needed every step to plant in as hard as he could.
Okay, yes.
So it was just like, boom, boom, boom. It was so funny to watch a walker. It was absolutely adorable. He looked like a little drunk or something. I don't know. It was awesome, right? But there was one day, this kid, you know, he's a little boy. He just rails his head off the coffee table, and I'm freaking the fuck out. Like I can't, because this kid, he's got a bump immediately, and I'm like, oh my god, no, I've killed this kid. I've killed this child. Like I'm freaking the fuck out, and I'm like, I think they left me a number for the I'm like calling the restaurant, and they had like left. And I was like, oh no, like, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like like I'm freaking the fuck out because I'm like, do I call the hospital? Like, do I get an ambulance? Like, what the fuck do I do, right? So I'm like checking him out, but he seems okay. So I'm like, okay, like, he doesn't seem like he's acting weird or doing anything strange. He doesn't seem like he wants to sleep or do anything. So I'm like, this is probably maybe okay, but I'm still freaking the fuck out. Luckily, the parents show up like 15 minutes later. Because they had left the restaurant, obviously. Anyway, so they show up, and I'm like, and I'm in tears. I am beside myself. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, they're like, what's going on? I'm like, he hit his head. He hit his head. And they're like, what did he hit his head off of? It was like the coffee table. He hit his head off the coffee table. And they were like, oh, well, did he throw up after? And I was like, no, he didn't. And they were like, oh, he's fine. I was like, ah! Like, I was just. Because it was like,
that's so scary.
It was like their second kid.
Oh yeah, no.
So they were like, oh, he's fine.
This is a future middle child. No one cares about that.
Yes, literally. They had one more. Yeah. It was like I was freaking the fuck out. It was their second kid, and they were like, oh, did he seem sleepy or did he throw up? And I was like, no. I'm just saying it through tears. They're like, oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's like they're a little kid. He just bumps into everything. What do you want? Having a fucking meltdown.
I love that.
So there are my heroes of the week.
Just the chill parents.
Just the like, chillest. They were chilling.
I love that. That's so good. I also have a child-related story today. So, like, as our regular listeners know, I was in the, doing the science workshops in school. So, like, when recess would happen, I would tend to just be in these classrooms. The kids are out, and I'm just like wandering around the classroom. Let me just tell you, if you haven't like wandered around an elementary school classroom, some great advice in there where they're like, this is how you write have an idea. First draft, edit. And I was like, man, sometimes you need that advice though, right? Like you just like break it down to me simply like, are you emotionally in control? Do you take a breath? And I was just like, we all need to remind ourselves of this stuff all the time, right?
Tons of adults need this information.
I was just like an elementary school, like there's charts on how to do a cursive R, like great. So much handy information there. So I love looking around these classrooms, right? And this hero comes to me. This is a framed picture that this teacher has in her classroom. And it is drawn on a piece of, like, it is in glass and everything, sitting up on her desk. And it is on construction paper. And it's all different size letters, you know, like mixed capitals and lowercase, like just big, huge dots over the eyes, like just whatever. And there's this poorly drawn stick figure in this dress.
Yeah.
So like clearly supposed to be, and this woman with just this like grumpy face. And she's got like angry heat lines coming out of her head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all it says is, it's written in this like kids' letters that says, names have been changed to protect those. But to Miss Smith. And then it says, life is hard, live with it! Exclamation mark. And then this woman has this speech bubble that says, darn! I laugh so hard.
I have chills right now.
Right?
That's so good.
Just life is hard. Darn.
I can have. Of course, she framed that. I framed that in a second.
What a like you were seen. You know, that kid saw that woman. You know,
she felt seen.
Like that is some like that. How do you not go home at night to your husband or whatever, or your partner, and being like, look at what this kid drew me? Because that kid is like, that is a mean teacher. And she tells you to suck it up.
Because
like,
life is hard.
Because life is hard, live with it. And we all know that the mean teachers were the best teachers.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and how
Unless they were like really, like there was one bridge above, but yes, anything below that tier, yes.
Like you need to take responsibilities for your own,
yes.
and you need to do your work. It's like you learn the best. How do you not take that home as a teacher and just being like, look at this.
But
this is so funny. I'm going to frame this and put it in my classroom forever.
That is borderline inspirational. It is. I would look at that every day and feel peace. Right? Honestly, like I would feel peace looking at that. Just thinking, yeah, life is hard. I'm allowed to be pissed off.
Life's hard. Deal with it. Darn.
Like every time I say darn to myself, I would giggle. Oh,
love it. That's my hero.
Yes, perfect.
Frame it.
Perfect.
That should be in the Louvre. Love it. That's my hero of the week.
That's a 10 out of 10 hero of the week. 10 out of 10. Unbelievable. Guys, as always, if you would like, you can follow me at Rebecca Reeds on any platform of your choosing.
Yeah, you can follow me at Craig Fay Comedy, any platform of your choosing, Twitter, Facebook, and also including Instagram and TikTok now, where I'm doing some like Science Me Craig stuff.
Hell
so check that out. And that's it for us this week on The Villain Was Right. Stay tuned for next week, where we're doing our audience choice, where unless this vote goes real sour within the next couple days, we're covering Dear Evan Hansen. Our patrons voted. It's Dear Evan Hansen. We're going to have an absolute field day with this movie, I guarantee you, as we continue our back to school month. Oh boy. And until then, this is The Villain Was Right, reminding you, do whatever you want. I don't care.
The Villain Was Right is produced by Andrew Ivimey as part of the From Superheroes Network. For more great podcasts like this, as well as webcomics, articles, and so much more, visit FromSuperheroes.com.